What's up, everyone? It's Denise Salcedo. Welcome to Speak Now Pro Wrestling episode 23. It is the March 3rd edition of the show, and we have two shows to talk about today, AEW Dynamite, NXT. It was the go-home show for AEW Dynamite leading into Revolution this weekend, and guys, I am feeling super stoked about this Sunday's pay-per-view, especially after tonight's show, just kind of seeing all the matches that are announced. I have a feeling it's going to be a really, really good show. So today we are going to go ahead and jump in and talk about everything that went down on both Dynamite and NXT, which actually a lot went down on Dynamite that I feel we need to discuss. So we are going to go ahead and talk about all of that. But before we get started, as always, I do want to thank all of the audio listeners that listen to this on replay. And then I also want to thank all of the live viewers on here that come here each and every single week. As you guys, so this episode, I am doing it 30 minutes before the normal time that I usually do it. I'm trying out a new time. So hopefully I'll get some feedback from you guys to see what you guys prefer. If you guys prefer me to go live at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I'll post a poll afterwards on Twitter and see how you guys all feel about that and see how the time helps things out. But here we go, guys. We have lots to get into. This is a very interactive show. So please make sure to send in your comments, your thoughts, your opinions, because I will be reading those and interacting with all of you throughout the entire show. Also, as always, please do not forget, if you guys want to help me out, send in a super chat. They really do help me out. And F4W does allow me to keep 100% of the proceeds after YouTube takes their cut. I do get myself, a little extra bonus on my paycheck here. I got to get to that Cameron Grimes level. So I want to thank you guys so much. It's been an insane day, guys. Before I start talking about AEW Dynamite, I'm going to say this. It's been a crazy day. So really quickly, I had an interview with Aew Revolution that is up right now on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Denise Salcedo. And that was really fun. After that, I had Quizzlemania, came in at third place, but you know what? Whatever. It is what it is. And then right after that, I had to literally jump right in to start watching AEW and NXT. So it's been like nonstop right after, like nonstop things going on so much. All right, guys, so here we go. Let's go ahead and get things started now that we got more people in this, but here we go. Let's get at this. All right, starting off with AEW Dynamite. What did you guys think about Cody Rhodes, Red Velvet versus Shaq and Jade Cargill? This is obviously a story that we've been talking about for the last several weeks, heck, maybe even months now at this point, but we've been talking about this for quite some time. And I think that for the most part, I know that I wasn't a person that was necessarily feeling this entire storyline. However, I do have to pay dues where dues are deserved, because there are a lot of things that were good in this match, a lot better than I expected. So we are going to go ahead and pay dues to where it's earned, guys. But what did you guys all think about this match? So let's go ahead and start reading some thoughts here. Let's see. We have a comment from our Dreamer who says that Shaq did a terrific job. What's funny? I didn't think that would be something that we would be talking about today, in terms of me and like everybody sort of agreeing that Shaq did indeed do a good job. Personally, I didn't think he was going to be, I thought he was going to be like almost every other celebrity that comes in and totally sucks. Maybe something along the lines of even Snoop Dogg or something like that. But no, you know what? I gotta give him credit. Shaq was pretty great in this. My favorite things about it were all of his chops. I thought they looked good. They sounded good. I loved the table spot. I mean, yeah, he could have done something a little bit more with his gear, but that really isn't anything to complain about. So for the most part, I gotta say, thumbs up to Shaq. Anthony the Manthony says that opening match was insane, exceeded my expectations. I wouldn't go as far to say it was like insane or anything, but I do have to say that it exceeded our expectations, because I thought this was going to be a train wreck. I thought it was going to be a disaster, but it wasn't. Michael Hellman says, I thought the show was good tonight. Shaq going through the table was something I didn't expect. Well done. And he actually went through 2 tables, I believe, so it was pretty good. Forsaken Production says, honestly, I enjoyed the Shaq match. I was going in thinking I was going to be a slow grind, but it was actually fun. Loved the table spot. And wow, Shaq can chop. Okay, so let's jump in a little bit into the details because there are several things that I do want to say about this. So first and foremost, I think a couple of weeks ago, I came out here and I basically said that I wasn't a fan of Red Velvet, that I didn't really see it, blah, blah, blah. Well, I have to completely take that back because after today's performance, I truly, truly do stand by the fact that Red Velvet, to me, out of everybody in this match, was the real standout of this match. She went in there, she knew her role, she knew what she was supposed to do, and throughout everything that she did, I thought she came across looking really good, where anytime that Red Velvet was on offense, I was very much interested to see what she was going to do. And to be honest, I went in this thinking, I don't really care for this match. I don't really care for, the people involved in this. But I do have to say that after this, I want to see Red Velvet be featured more on AEW Dynamite. I do think that she could be somebody that that they can, very much weave into the AEW women's division to keep growing that division. And I do think that she is somebody that you're also, I feel like there's a big difference too in her work. I think that all the matches that she's been having on AEW Dark have clearly been helping her out because she has been looking good. Well, looked good in this match at least. She came in, she was pretty fiery. I like that. She brought some presence. She did some nice, flashy stuff in the ring. So I did like all of that. And I really do think that we got to give kudos over to Red Velvet. Although, yes, they did have that table setup spot that kind of dragged. Yeah, I got that part, but honestly, though, I really do think that she did a really good job. So here we go. And then I also want to talk about that Cody played a very important role in this match. And I think that the role that he played throughout this match was obviously that he was there to really coach Shaq through all of his spots. And I do think that Cody Rhodes did a great job, even though in the big scope of things, for Shaq to be able to pull off everything he did in this match, one of the few guys that he was going to be able to do that with was Cody Rhodes. So I also do have to put that over. Again, circling back to Shaq, I thought that his chops were on point. I laughed at the fact that he was working like your traditional big man. I made a joke on Twitter that he was working like a 1995 diesel. And I really did like that table spot. Now, I do have some comments and things to say about Jade. So I have some pros and some cons. So first of all, I'm going to start off with the stuff that I liked about Jade tonight. I thought that first of all, she is a great athlete and you can see that. And we kind of already knew that going into this, but she is a phenomenal athlete. And I love the way that she was working the camera. I thought she worked the camera fantastically. I thought that she was showcasing, her athleticism. However, I do have to say that there were certain moments throughout this match that I felt she looked lost. And so to be honest, I didn't think she was as ready as maybe some other people might have felt about her performance here, but I will give her credit. She was athletic. She was working well with the camera, working well with the crowd, but there were moments where I felt she didn't really have everything pieced together and looked a little lost throughout that match. And I saw it and it was distracting. So that's why I do have to point that out. That's why for me, Red Velvet was the standout here. Like it wasn't hard for me to say, hey, I'm watching this match. Who's the person that's standing out to me? It was Red Velvet. And part of me wanted Red Velvet to even get that pin just because I thought that she looked good. And I get it. Obviously, they were going to have, Jade and Shaq win. That makes more sense. Shaq coming in. They've been building up Jade Cargill. So that's perfectly fine. But I did think that I thought this was pretty great. But what did you guys all think about all of this? We have a comment from Pro Wrestling TV who says, great athlete doesn't equal great wrestler. Jade Cargill always looks and sounds lost. I would still call this a train wreck. So yeah, I mean, I didn't want to I'm not going to come out here and completely say, oh, she was awful or anything like that. I'm not going to say that, but there were moments that she did look lost. And that is just, honest critique and criticism. So, but overall, I do think that if she, the more matches that she gets under her belts, just like everybody, just like every single athlete, the more that they do, the more matches that they get underneath their belt, the more that they grow as a performer. And that is why I wanted to bring up the fact about Red Velvet, because again, they even mentioned her record over commentary for AEW Dark. And really you can tell that obviously those matches are paying off because she is getting a lot better. And let's see what else you guys are saying here. I'm seeing all the comments here, but we have a lot of people. I think a lot of people here did like Jade's performance. And this is from Shaz Shaw, who says Jade looked like she knew what she was doing for her first match. Dude, again, you can't, like, I do think she's going to get better and she'll improve, but that's just how I felt there. And Jake Larson says, Shaq looked like he cared and really tried. The match was better than my admittedly low expectations, and he was willing to do a table spot, credit where it is deserved. Michael says, Jade Cargill has a lot of growing to do. If AEW puts her with the right person to have a match, I think Cargill can accelerate in the future. 100%, guys. She has the look. They've already been starting getting her comfortable on the mic, doing promo skills and all of that. So she's 100% going to grow into, a bigger superstar, I guess you can say. Alrighty, guys. So here we go. Let's go ahead. That was my thoughts there. But again, feel free to send in your thoughts, your opinions. If you agree or you disagree with me on anything, I truly don't care. I love to have different of opinions. So if you disagree, feel free to send in your thoughts, guys. This is entertainment. This is wrestling. We're all allowed to have different opinions. And I do love discussing all of the different stuff that we all feel here. We have a comment from that I want to get into from Gotham Guy, who says, for her first match, it was okay. I've seen worse, so I'd say a good starting point. Yeah, we have seen worse. Yeah, I will definitely agree with that on there. Labor Day says, Jade has potential, but don't throw around terms like good worker when the performers are clearly green. Well, yeah, that's why. I'm in terms of somebody being a good worker in this match, you would really only say that about Cody Rhodes, but that's not to take away anything from the possibilities of what Red Velvet and Jade Cargill could be. So here we go, guys. After this, we had a squash match with Pac and Ray Phoenix. They did a squash match, and I liked this. So the reason why I liked that they did this squash match was because you don't necessarily see guys like this get these types of squash matches. You usually see big guys getting these types of squash matches and not necessarily these high flyers type of guys. So I was really happy to see this. Really easy, quick and breezy. We'll go ahead and move on to the next thing, because after this, we had the Inner Circle press conference, and there were things that I liked about this and things that I didn't. So I'll talk about the things that I liked. Actually, you know what? I think I liked more than I didn't. Okay, so at the start, I kind of thought, okay, this is a little bit boring. I'm not really feeling it. But the second that MJF got the mic is when I think things really started turning around. We had Conrad come out and MJF calls him turkey tits again. And that was pretty funny. That always, to me, gets over. Pretty much anytime MJF is on the mic, you know it's going to be a good time. They basically talk about the condition of Papa Buck. And then the Bucks end up coming out and they start saying that, hey, this was personal. You guys made this personal. I knew that you would have you would attack my friends, but I never knew that you would attack my family. And they start talking about their dad and their influence and how basically he's part of the reason that AEW is even a thing. And the Young Bucks actually cut a really, really good promo throughout this. I loved the Young Bucks promo. The Young Bucks promo is actually what made me like this entire segment, because everything else besides the MJF portions were, just there. But MJF on the mic, always gold. Young Bucks here, gold. So I loved all of this. However, I did have I do have to bring this up. So there was a funny line where the Young Bucks told Jericho, if you weren't here on AEW, you would be jerking the curtain at the Performance Center. I couldn't stop laughing at that because it kind of came out of nowhere and I really wasn't expecting it. So I did think that line was pretty funny. Now, I do have to say this. So last week I came out and I said that I felt that the attack on Papa Buck kind of came out of nowhere, right? So I would have actually thought that it would have been kind of cool if they would have swapped this, if they would have done this Young Bucks promo a week before they actually did the Papa Buck beatdown. I actually thought, obviously, change some words around, but I actually thought it would have made more sense to sort of build that up and then afterwards have this attack on their father, excuse me. So I loved the Young Bucks promo here today. And also, so at the end, we did have, after this whole melee of things goes down, Nick Jackson and Matt Jackson end up, both respectively going on different parts of the ring. Of the stage. So you see Nick Jackson on the stage area. And then you see, I actually didn't see that Matt Jackson was was on the ropes and that he was ready to do something too. So it really, really tripped me out, guys. This whole camera movement completely tripped me out on this. It was this perspective thing that looked almost like optical illusion, but that was pretty cool. overall highlights of the segment was definitely the Bucks here. Thank you. I actually want to read this comment because Labor Day points out the fact that when MJF made fun of Nick's thinning hair, oh my God, I popped so hard for that too. And I forgot to write that line down in my notes, but it was something that I could not stop laughing about. Let's see what we have here. We also have a comment from Jake Larson who says, I pop every time MJF calls people poor. Joseph says, I think this match was perfect in the right spot after a mixed tag match. That surpassed my expectation. Oh, okay. He's talking about the tag match. Okay, there we go. Okay, anything else here? All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic here. But seriously, Shadow Crip says, Matt climbs and they showed us climbing. Dude, I didn't like, I don't know what happened, but for me, it was just kind of like random. I was so focused on what Nick Jackson was doing. I wasn't seeing Matt Jackson. Jesus. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on, guys. So after this, we had, after the Inner Circle press conference, we did have this super cool promo package promoting the exploding barbed wire death match that is taking place at AEW Revolution. And I love this because they had Onita come out. They were showing footage from past exploding barbed wire death matches. This was such a good way to get people to it was a good way to get people that maybe aren't as completely familiar to it, to get them excited. And it was also a great way to get fans that are familiar with this, to get them like, all right, like this is cool. I thought that they managed to please two different types of audiences with this promo package. So that was really, really good to hear. Thank you. Sean says, I was focused on Nick too. Cool spot. I told you guys, I told you. It was honestly like, it was kind of chirpy. Shadow Crip says, Onita was great in this. Man, I was so happy to see Onita explain this. Yeah, 100%. It made it feel like so much more legit and just like gave it that next level credibility that you would expect from this. All right, guys, let's move on. So after this, we had FTR and Tully Blanchard versus Jurassic Express. And I gotta say, so when they first announced this match, I thought, okay, this is interesting. We're going to be seeing Tully wrestle. Who knows what this is going to turn out to be like? And I got to say that I actually loved everything that they did in this entire segment. It's not necessarily that this was a great and phenomenal match. No, it was different, actually. There were different things that I liked about this whole entire segment that they did that I actually enjoyed. And my favorite portions of this was actually the interactions between Marco Stunt and Tully Blanchard, because it came across as something very believable. You have Marco Stunt, who's like 5 feet tall or something. You have Tully Blanchard, who's in his 60s. So it was very believable to have them essentially, feuding more so in this match than him with, Luchasaurus. Like if it would have been Tully and Luchasaurus, doing this stuff, it wouldn't have been believable. But with him and Marco Stunt, it came across as fun and believable too. So I think that was probably my favorite incorporation of this entire match here. Also, I do want to point out that, after FTR finished feuding with the Young Bucks, it's hit its peak. Afterwards, they could have easily gotten lost in the shuffle of tag teams, okay? Because we've seen it happen to so many other tag teams, and that could have easily happened to FTR. However, I do love the spot that they're in right now. Feuding with Jurassic Express has really made them feel fresh. It's made both FTR feel fresh, Jurassic Express feel fresh, and I really like everything that they've been doing sort of leading up to all of this. So I'm glad that they put FTR in the spot with Jurassic Express. Also, afterwards, we had Shawn Spears come out, and Shawn Spears comes out, and at first I think he was like was he the cameraman, guys, or was he God, what was he? He was doing something on the outside, right? But nobody knows it's Shawn Spears until he gets into the ring and, takes off his mask and whatever. So Shawn Spears comes out, and it's looking like they're leading to forming a new version of the Four Horsemen. So this is what it's looking like, and this is like the direction that we think they're going. So prediction time, guys. Send in some thank you. Forsaken Production says that he was pretending to be a grip. Thank you. I had forgotten what he was doing on the outside. But anyways, there you go. So send in your predictions. What do you think is going to happen with this storyline? Because I do definitely feel that they're going to form some new version of the Four Horsemen. And I have a feeling that it's bound to be with obviously FTR and Shawn Spears, with Tully and Arn as managers. But I think that the right call would be to have Cody as the leader. And this would be super awesome because, as you know, Dusty is known for feuding with the Four Horsemen. So all of that history, and then having, if Cody were to be the leader of this new version of the Four Horsemen, I think would be pretty cool because, again, like, just the fact that, all of the history, and then, his son is doing this now. I think it would be pretty dang awesome if they were to do something like this. But that's just like how it feels like the direction that they're going in with this. But is that something that you guys would be interested in? Go ahead and let me know what you guys feel or thought throughout this entire segment. And as I wait for your guys' comments, did I already say this? I don't know if I said this already, but I definitely want to say Marco Stunt versus Tully Blanchard. And I don't care if you guys laugh at me. I want to see it. So there you go. Guys, send in your comments. Also, if you haven't already, if you're new to this stream, or if you're listening, or actually if you're new to this stream, feel free to send in a super chat if you guys want. F4W does allow me to keep 100% of the proceeds after YouTube takes their cut. So feel free to send any super chats in if you guys want as well. But if not, send in your comments, your interactions, your questions, all of that type of stuff. All right, let's see. And yeah, Steve Wrestling Fan says, how can you have Four Horsemen with no flair? I knew, yeah, obviously people are going to say that, but this would be a new version, guys. Sean says, that would be cool. Cody is in need of storyline now that Shaq's dead. Yeah, Shaq's dead, done, and killed. He did a pretty good job of like selling that table spot 100%. So I think that this would be a pretty cool move for Cody Rhodes to be involved in. And let's see. Joseph says this would be pretty interesting. I thought for this match it would be sort of under mixed tag rules where Marco could only fight Tully. Okay. And Pro Wrestling TV says Cody should not turn heel and FTR must remain heel. Shawn Spears needs to turn around and get off my TV. Dude, I feel like Shawn Spears, look, I like Shawn Spears. I'm not going to come out here and say I don't like Shawn Spears. I do like Shawn Spears, and I think that this would be the thing that he needs to like kind of get him back up there, get him to be someone that people are talking about, because for a while people really haven't been talking about Shawn Spears. So, getting him involved in something like this is obviously going to get people, talking about him and whatnot. And let's see what else we got here. Alrighty, guys. Our Rig says, I like that they really protected Tully, and I love JJ using the shoe like way back in the day. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Another good interaction there. And again, a really good way to incorporate Tully, but also protect him as well, because you don't want to have him in there, you don't want people to be able to really notice, that obviously that he's an older man. You don't want to have that stuff be obvious. So I think that the way that they did it, and they sort of got around it in a really fun way. All right, guys. Let me go ahead and move on here. So here we go. After this, we had Paul White come out, and we heavily talked about Paul White last week. So if you guys want to hear what I had to say about Paul White being in AEW, I did talk about that at the opening of last week's show. So this week, I just want to point out the fact that he kind of gave us a lot to talk about, and something that I cannot wait to hear all of your thoughts on. So first and foremost, he comes out with a No More BS t-shirt. You got No More BS on his Titantron. And I'm thinking, this is hilarious. All right. This is pretty darn hilarious. It wasn't something that I was expecting. I thought it was a fun play on words, and I really like that. And I think it's going to get over really well with the crowd and with the audience, especially because right away people were chanting No More BS. I thought that was pretty cool. But obviously the big newsworthy thing that came out of this was that Paul White essentially announced that a Hall of Fame worthy person would be showing up at Revolution. Not Evolution B2W, which he accidentally said Evolution, but Revolution. So obviously everyone's brain is going different directions of who this person could be. And I've been seeing theories because I was asking everybody on Twitter on who they think it might be. So guys, who do you think this Hall of Fame worthy talent is going to be that's going to show up to AEW Revolution this Sunday? And from the looks of it, is going to sign with the company since that's what they promoted. So who do you guys think this is going to be? I'm very curious to see who do you think it's actually going to be and who you would want it to be, because I think there is a difference of who it would be, who's more realistically an option, and then who you actually would want it to be. So let's see what you guys are saying here. Let's see. Oh, we got several comments here. Let's see. All right, let's start off with Shadow Crypt, who says, CM Punk is going to be the Hall of Fame worthy candidate. So I saw a lot of people saying CM Punk or guessing CM Punk. But guys, I don't know. I don't think so. Even though I would love it, I would love to see CM Punk in AEW. I would love it. I don't know. I don't think it's actually going to be him. But if it is, I will tell you that I will pop very, very hard for it. But I don't think it's going to be CM Punk. Ben Isaac says, I think it's Christian Cage or Rob Van Dam. So those are two options as well. I don't think it's going to be Cage just because we were really just seeing him on WWE TV, but clearly that doesn't necessarily mean anything in terms of it really could be him. Rob Van Dam, to be honest, I love RVD, but I don't think it would necessarily, I wouldn't pop as hard as if it were somebody like CM Punk, right? Joseph says, I think it's Ethan Page. His character will be Hall of Fame worthy. Yeah, I don't think so either. And DR says it's Kurt Angle. So this is a name that I have been seeing nonstop on Twitter when I ask this question. And I gotta say, out of all the names that I've been hearing, I am most confident that it's going to be Kurt Angle. And I will tell you this right now. If it's Kurt Angle, I am going to mark the hell out because I bloody love Kurt Angle, okay? He is my number two on my top favorite wrestlers list, okay? So I would be so freaking excited if it was Kurt Angle. And I've been seeing a lot of people throw his name out there. So part of me feels like maybe because a lot of people are throwing his name out there, that there's a bigger possibility that it might be him. Obviously, that's not always the case, but I really hope it's Kurt. Sean Harrington says, John Cena. No, I do not think it's going to be. I do not think it's going to be John Cena whatsoever. We do have a few more people saying Cena here, but I really do not think so. Sean says, has a joke here. It says it's Soulja Boy. Oh God, guys. Oh my God. I'm sorry, but he came across as so annoying. Oh my God. I thought Bow Wow was being annoying, but Soulja Boy just like knocked him out of there and was like, nah, I'm going to be more annoying. But I did love Randy Orton sort of, not taking any BS and actually, doing something about it or saying something about it rather. And let's see here. I have, I kind of lost where it was at in the comments section. So give me 1 second to kind of get my act back together here. Let's see. All right. Oh gosh, I lost you guys here. All right, some people don't think that it's going to be CM Punk. Ruby Nick said, he says it's not who you expect. My opinion, Punk, so it's probably not Punk. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be Punk. And then, a lot of people are saying if it's CM Punk, they're going to lose their mind. Jerry points out Mick Foley. I don't think I've heard his name come across very often, actually. But there you go. And then here we go. We have a super chat. Thank you so much to Chris Ludek, who's keeping me fed all the time by sending in the super chat. Says, in regards to wearing pink on Wednesday, you can only wear your hair in a ponytail once a week. So I guess you picked today. I completely forgot about that rule. But actually, yes, thank you so much for pointing out the pink wearing for today. And then let's see what else we got here. See, yes, Kurt Angle was very unhappy during his last WWE run. And when I interviewed Kurt Angle and we were talking about that retirement match with Baron Corbin, it still sort of feels like surreal that that was actually his retirement match. So part of me wants to see that not be his retirement match. I want to see him come in to AEW and do something. So Sean Harrington says Brock would be gigantic. I had a couple of people saying Brock Lesnar on the comment section, but I can't see it. We have another person saying Brock. We have several people saying Brock Lesnar. Guys, I can't imagine it. It would be oh, dude, I can't imagine it. Look, I will tell you right now, it would really change the game. So that is why I can't imagine it. I don't know. It would be like a big shocker, I can't even fathom it, guys. I'll be real with you, guys. I can't fathom it. Blowing Smoke says Bad Bunny is just as annoying. Heck no, bro. Dude, Bad Bunny, even Randy Orton said this on his tweet that Bad Bunny earned people's back, like the wrestlers earn their respect because he doesn't come out here and be like, oh, WWE is fake or oh this or oh that. He doesn't say stupid stuff like that, all right? So I wouldn't say Bad Bunny is necessarily annoying on the level of Soulja Boy or Bow Wow. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that. All right, let's see. What else you guys are saying here? Pro Wrestling asks, what about Mark Henry? And I'm trying to see anything here. Let's see. I'm reading the rest of your comments here. And it doesn't seem like anybody else has any other real big predictions in terms of who it might be. Steve Wrestling Fan says Mark Calloway. Oh, no, I don't think so either, guys. I don't think so either. So it looks like we're going to have to wait and see who this big person is. And obviously, I feel the fact that, that the way that they announced it, it's kind of going to get everybody, really excited. So I hope it's not someone disappointing, because if it's someone disappointing, people are going to be like, oh, man, I worked myself up to thinking it was going to be this big name, and then it ends up not being a big name. So I kind of feel like now they really have to deliver in terms of who this person is going to be. Let's see what else we got here. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on to the next thing we want to talk about. So we had Nyla Rose versus Rio Mizunami, and I hope I didn't mess that up too much. This was actually a decent match, but I will tell you this. I was very surprised that Rio won. I was expecting for it to be Nyla. I think I went into this thinking, oh, okay, they're going to be the ones to, see who's going to face Shida at Revolution. And I sort of was convinced that it was going to be Nyla Rose. And so when she didn't win, I was pretty surprised by that. Okay. I really honestly was surprised by this. Now it sort of feels like I don't really know who is actually going to win. I have a feeling now that Hikaru Shida might actually retain, but I don't know how I feel about it, guys. It sort of just feels like a lateral move. It doesn't feel like, I don't know. It doesn't feel like, I don't know, guys. It doesn't feel like a real big step up to me. Like if it was, I don't know, somebody else, I think I would have expected it to feel like, okay, this is very obvious that so-and-so is going to win. So I don't know. I'm a little bit conflicted. I'll be real with you guys. I'm a little bit conflicted on how I feel about who might actually walk out as champion. So that's pretty much how I felt about that. But I do want to say this too. I love the post-match stuff afterwards between Shida and Rio. I love the fact that Rio just like punched her in the face when she thought that they were going to be shaking hands. This was literally the most fire that we've seen from Shida in a while. So I'm glad that she was able to show this, angry self, because we don't get to see much of her. So this was a pretty nice thing to do as well. So someone suggested Ryback. All right, I don't know why that made me laugh really hard. Let's see. Patrick Nguyen points out they couldn't do Nyla versus Shida on another pay-per-view. Sean says, no way, Rio all the way. I didn't see AEW going for Nyla and Shida again for Revolution. Labor Day says Nyla's still so rough in the ring. I just don't think she has anything beyond her imposing look. Every one of her matches is faulty in some glaring way. I think it's depending on who she's in the ring with. There's been times where I've, liked what she's been doing in the ring. So let's see what else we got here. We have a comment from Ricky F who says that Rio style is just kind of awkward and we need a women's champ who can elevate the division and actually cut promo. This is what I meant by it felt like a lateral move. It didn't feel like, let's say if it was Britt Baker or Thunder Rosa, it would have felt like, okay, like they're going to start, doing something differently with the women's title. Because right now, based on what we've seen with Shida, we haven't seen much. So I almost feel like people just want to see a new face and someone that people are very familiar with on Dynamite. So that's why I thought that it was more of a lateral move there. We also shout out to Spectral Muffin, who just became a YouTube member here on F4W Online. Welcome to Spectral Muffin. If you guys haven't already, make sure to become a member. It's first of all, subscribe to the channel. And if you guys want, become a member because you do get access to like members only videos. So that's always pretty awesome. Here we go. Guys, you guys are making me laugh with some of your comments here. Doug K says that it's obviously going to be Chuck Palumbo. All I can think about whenever I think of Billy and Chuck is, you look so good to me. All right, I'm very apologies to my audio listeners who just clicked out because of that. But there you guys go. Let's see, where are we at here? And okay. So we have plenty of thoughts here on what on earth is going to happen. Also, this is a very good time for me to tell you that I'm not going to be doing any AEW Revolution predictions on this stream because if you haven't already heard, this Friday, it was originally going to be Thursday, but now it's been moved to Friday. This Friday, I will be on Wrestling Observer Live doing predictions for AEW Revolution with Brian and Mike Sempervive on Wrestling Observer Live this Friday, guys. So do not miss out. Make sure you guys tune in. And while we're here, I'm going to go ahead and do a quick promotion, everybody. So do not mind me, but I need to plug in my show because right after AEW Revolution on Twitch, on the F4W, twitch.tv/F4W video channel, I will be on talking about AEW Revolution. So again, I will not be on here on YouTube. I will be on the Twitch channel. That is twitch.tv/F4W video. I will be going on and recapping AEW Revolution, similar to the way that I do it on here on YouTube, but I will be doing it on Twitch. Also, I've been notified that immediately following me, Brian and Vinny will be going live on Twitch. So you're literally going to get back-to-back action on Twitch, twitch.tv/F4W video. So if you guys want to like literally get all of your thoughts and opinions and everything heard for AEW Revolution, that's looking to be a really big show, make sure to head on over to twitch.tv/F4W video. All right. I'm so proud of the way I promoted that. All right, here we go, guys. We have a super chat. Thank you so much to Christopher Marino. He says, there is no way she would fly in from Japan for a one-on-one match. Always knew the person from Japan was winning the tournament. If you think about things the way Christopher does logistically, yeah, it makes sense. I get that. I do get that. So you're just thinking next level here. So I do, I do agree. And Labor Day says, Denise, please don't sing Sweet Mercy. I'm very sorry, guys, for my terrible singing there. My apologies. And yes, the Twitch homies unite. Wow, I was really about to say Twitter homies instead of Twitch homies. I think Brian would be very, very upset about that. Forsaken Productions points out, they're doing a separate show. Do they not like you? Yeah, you know what? That's true. You made a good point here. I'm the opening act. You know what? I'm the opening act. There you guys go. But anyways, guys, please make sure to tune in for that show. But let's go ahead and continue on here because we still have plenty more to talk about before I wrap up AEW Dynamite and head into NXT. So we had the Sting, Tony Schiavone, Ricky Starks, I mean, everything that went down in this next segment. And this one is from, so basically, Sting comes out. He's being interviewed by Tony Schiavone. Sting is basically saying he's pumped for the street fight. Ricky Starks then comes out and says that he sees the fire from Sting, that he's man enough to admit that he still got it, but that he is not the icon, and then just rudely slaps Sting right in the face. After this, Sting gets him in the Scorpion Deathlock, but then Hobbs and Hooks tried to come out and help Starks. Cage and Taz then come out to help them out, and then afterwards Darby comes out and helps out Sting. So this was fine. This didn't feel super memorable like what they did last week, but it was perfectly fine to continue moving everything forward. We do have a super chat from Haj Gulashi who says, just wanted to shout out the Twitch homies. Yes, shout out to the Twitch homies. All right, guys, let's go ahead and actually we have a comment from the Keysboo who says, the Keysboo says, Ricky Starks is money. Dude, I like Ricky Starks. I think there's a lot of potential in Ricky Starks. I think he's very entertaining, and that's one of my favorite things about him. So there you guys go. And let's see. All right, guys, after this, we had not the main event, but we had Dark Order 10 versus Max Caster. And this was fun. This was a fun match, I think, because right off the bat, you get Max Caster. He's coming out. He's doing his rapping like he always does. And I bloody love it because you get those really funny one-liners. He mentions Lady Gaga's dog walker. I don't remember the exact thing he said about it, but I remember kind of gasping like a okay. And then he has this line where he says, -1, you're about to catch a butt whipping. I thought this was hilarious because right after he says that, -1 is trying to get his hands on him, but obviously Dark Order 10 is like, no, that's not going to happen, whatever, right? So I thought that was pretty funny. The match ends when Jack Evans is essentially under the ring and he ends up hitting number 10 on the head, and that ends up costing him the match because he hits him on the head with the boombox. And then we find out that it was actually Matt Hardy who paid him the $4,200 to do that. And I liked this. I liked all of this, guys. I loved everything that we've been seeing with Matt Hardy, and I might as well talk about this right away because, okay, let's see. Blowing Smoke says that Lady Gaga line was savage as hell. Andy R says too soon. Yeah, it's not something that I would make fun about because, you know, I wouldn't make fun of it. So, but I don't know what to say, guys. I don't know what to say. Ricky Bobby, thank you so much for the super chat, says, Denise, you are on Wrestle Talk too much. You just said bloody. You're from LA, dude. LOL. Dude, I've been doing that so much. So it is, I've been hanging out too much with, you know, all the English guys because they'd be saying bloody, bloody this, bloody that. And all of a sudden I'm saying it too. But no one is taking out the LA and Denise Salcedo. I'll tell you that much, dude. All right. Thank you so much for the super chat, BTW. All right, guys. Where the heck was I at? Let's see. So after this, I want to jump into the main event, which was Matt Hardy and Mark Quinn versus John Silver and Hangman Page. And I'll just say this right now. I love the relationship between John Silver and Hangman Page. It pops me every dang time. All the time it pops me, all right? I thought that this was a really good closing angle. Obviously, we had Silver and Hangman Page win. After this, Matt Hardy goes in for the attack and starts attacking Hangman Page, starts telling him off on the mic, etc. And what I've been liking about this is that I've said this on past shows that the Matt Hardy Hangman Page storyline is literally one of my favorite things to tune in and watch every single week on AEW Dynamite. So the fact that this match, sort of on paper, you would think, oh, this is a mid-card match. I think they've done a really good job of making it feel like a much bigger deal. And it made people like me care about this match. I care about this match. I'm actually interested in seeing what's going to happen, even though the stakes for it, you know, are silly. They're pretty dumb, right? But the way that they've been working towards this, I gotta say, I'm a fan of this, and this is one of the matches that I'm really looking forward to. Also, the way that they ended the show with the brawl, I thought it was a really, really good way to promote the Battle Royal as well. So, guys, send in your thoughts. What did you think of everything how AEW Dynamite closed up? What did you think about Matt Hardy, Hangman Page? I mean, all of this. All right, here we go. Let's see. Dan Pearson says, Hangman Page is a star in the making. Blue-eyed, blonde hair, every man's cowboy. Every man's cowboy. There you go. Let's see. Any other thoughts here? All right, guys, go ahead and send them in as we get through. But in the meantime, I do want to go ahead and I believe there's 9 matches announced for AEW Revolution. So we are, again, friendly reminder, I will be on Wrestling Observer Live on Friday going through all of the predictions for Revolution. But seriously, guys, it's looking like a really, really good show. There are a lot of matches that I'm personally excited for. Just very quickly, I will say that the matches I'm really looking forward to are obviously Kenny Omega, Jon Moxley, and that exploding barbed wire death match. Definitely looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to the Face of the Revolution ladder match because you know what? I'm a sucker for ladder matches. They get me so excited. I'm also looking forward to Adam Page versus Matt Hardy because I just told you guys I'm very interested in the story. And I'm also interested in, because I'm very curious as to how it's going to turn out, is the street fight with Brian Cage and Ricky Starks versus Darby Allin and Sting. So I would say out of all of the matches that are taking place, those are the matches that I am most genuinely excited to see. Andy R says, can't wait to see Kenny and Jon Moxley being a bloody mess on Sunday. Dude, it's going to be killer. I really hope that it's killer. I hope that it's not overly overproduced because, you know, that always takes away a little bit. Like the more, I don't know, I don't want it to take away like from the specialness of it all. So I hope that they do a really good job at it. I'm really excited about that. And let's see, any other comments here before we move on? Shadow Crypt says, I didn't do their super chat. Shadow Crypt, I did not see your super chat that came in. I might have missed it. I don't see it on here actually. If you want, just go ahead and resend whatever it was that you said, but I do not see your super chat on here. But if you want to go ahead and send in what you said, go ahead and do so. All right, guys, let's go ahead and, we got another super chat from Nathan Tipton who says, need you to review GCW shows with Semper Vivi if you like the deathmatch stuff. Dude, I do like the deathmatch stuff, and I wish that I've never attended in-person live deathmatch match. So that's one of the things that I would always, it's on my wrestling bucket list of things that I would like to do one day is see it like in person live. But I would love to review a show at Semper Vivi. We did Elimination Chamber predictions on my channel, and I think that Semper Vivi and I have a really good rapport. So I really liked our chemistry, and I think that if we were to do any show, whatever it was, I think it'd go really well. Thank you so much to Nathan for sending in this super chat. BTW, I want to say thank you so much to all of the new faces that I'm seeing on here. It's very exciting to see new faces coming on the show. I hope you guys are enjoying it, whether you're listening to it on the audio or watching it live. All right, guys, here we go. Where the hell are we at? All right, it is now time for NXT. So there are a couple things that I want to talk about in NXT. I'm not going to run down the entire card because I want to talk about the things that I felt mattered. So let's talk about the opening segment, which was Roderick Strong calling out Adam Cole. Finn comes out and attacks him, and he basically what I just want to say about this really is the fact that Finn Balor, guys, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I think he is the best champion right now in wrestling. I really do think that. I really do think that a lot of the matches that he's been having are at a different caliber from everybody else. And this isn't even like an AEW or NXT versus WWE thing. No, it's none of that, guys. At the end of the day, Finn Balor has been having these badass matches. And I really do want there to be like a bigger conversation about it. Because I do feel like a lot of his reign and his run has sort of been overlooked. I don't think enough people are talking about it. And I think that right now he is doing some of the best work out there, especially like his character too. What I love is that he's not your traditional baby face. He has more to him. He has more of an edge to him. He's that cool AF baby face, and I really like that about Finn Balor. So I just got to take a second to really put over Finn. So we actually have a comment from Grega John, who says Finn Balor is amazing. Sean Harrington says, I agree. Denise Balor has been delivering on another level. Dude, it's been nonstop. Like, it doesn't matter what match it is or what. Dude, it's really good. He's been doing really good stuff. Like, no matter who he's going to be in the ring with, I know I'm going to get an awesome match. And let's go ahead and move on. Oh, actually, let's read a couple more comments, actually, from Labor Days. It says, Could not agree more about Balor. He is at the top right now. He's overlooked because NXT is not that hot right now. Yeah, that's what I feel too. I feel the fact that, he's on NXT. I feel like people sort of overlook that. And then when you think about, champions in WWE, I feel like the more common answer that you get is Roman Reigns. And hell yeah, Roman Reigns is killing it too. But I think in terms of in-ring performance, Finn Balor is up here. I don't think Roman Reigns is touching them just yet. Although Roman Reigns is putting on hell of amazing matches too. I just think that Finn Balor is at a different work rate is what I want to get at there. And I also like, everything that they've been doing with the Undisputed Era. And I've come on here each and every single week to kind of put over this entire storyline, because this really is the reason to tune into NXT. The real reason to tune in to NXT is everything that they're doing with Finn Balor and the Undisputed Era. That's literally the highlight. That's literally the highlight for me. All right, so after this, we had a lot of different psychology segments with the way. Guys, you already know how I feel about the way. So this, for me, I tend to sort of like tune out a little bit when I see this, but it just kind of feels like right now, a lot of it's not completely making sense to me. It just kind of feels like sort of things are thrown in and they're kind of come out of the blue. So I'm not really feeling everything that they're doing here. I feel like I love Gargano as like this comedic character. And I know not everybody loves that. I do, but tonight really wasn't it for me. I think there's different marks where sometimes he hits it and sometimes he doesn't. So there really wasn't much to say about this other than sometimes I laugh, sometimes I don't. So Brandon says the way segments tonight were a miss. Thank you. Like, you can tell what they were trying to do, with the woman, the older woman, doing the part of the psychologist, Austin Theory crying like a grown man or whatever, or crying like a baby as a grown man, excuse me. So you knew what they were trying to get at. It just wasn't actually. It was trying too hard to be funny, not naturally funny. It didn't pop me easily, is what I'm trying to say. Like, I wasn't really into it, though. I really wasn't into it. All right, guys, let's move on. So after this, we did have what we really need to talk about, actually, because they've been promoting this for a couple of weeks now. And it was Dakota and Raquel versus Nia and Shayna for the tag team titles. And this necessarily didn't play off the way that I thought it was going to play out, in terms of Dakota and Raquel walking out as champions instantaneously. That did not happen. But here are the things I loved about this match. I love the fact that we got to see Raquel manhandle Shayna, okay? At the end of the day, yeah, Shayna's been doing this goofy character on Raw. I'm not a fan of the Nia-Shayna duo. I've said that, okay. But still, Shayna still is the type of opponent that if you see her being manhandled by someone like Raquel, it's gonna look cool, okay? It's gonna look interesting. So I thought that this made Raquel look even much more legit. Honestly, Raquel is probably one of the best booked women right now in WWE, because dang, she is looking good all the time. After this, Shayna got Dakota in a Karafuda clutch, and there was a spot where Raquel ran Nia through the commentary table, and I was seriously surprised that table did not break. I really thought that it was gonna break. But in the end, we essentially had Adam Pearce come out, brings in the new referee, as she has the Karafuda clutch on Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai is not the legal woman, but they end up calling the match there. So essentially, Dakota and Raquel, they get screwed in this match. And later on in the show, you see backstage Adam Pearce and William Regal sort of arguing and going back and forth, right? And then afterwards, William Regal gets interviewed by Mackenzie Mitchell, and he basically says that because of what happened in this tag match, something is going to happen that he's going to announce next week, I believe, that he's going to announce something that is going to change the landscape of NXT. So here's my question to you all. What do you think that thing is? Now, again, lo and behold, he did say that it was because of what happened in the women's tag match that is going to lead to something changing the landscape of NXT. So I thought, okay, they're going to make the announcements of them moving to Tuesdays. That's what I thought, but doesn't make sense in the way that it was presented in terms of, oh, it's going to happen because of what happened with the women's tag match. So because of that, I'm not really sure where he's hinting at here. So what do you guys all think? How did you guys feel about the finish between the tag match? Oh, one more thing. I really do hope that they're setting up a rematch between these two teams, and I really do hope that they have it at Fastlane. And then I do hope that Dakota and Raquel become champions at Fastlane. But again, we'll find out, guys. All right, guys. Here we go. Let's move on. So let's see what you guys are saying here. Actually, Jake Larson has a comment about the previous topic that we were talking about, which was the way segment where he says Indy having a crush is kind of funny, I guess, but I just can't like anything with Austin Theory. I do have to say that the Indy Hartwell Dexter Loomis thing is kind of funny because she was doing like the little notebook writing, and even though he's creepy, she kind of likes that. So yeah, I could see how that could be funny. Let's see. Anton M says, can you imagine how strongly Raquel gets booked when he looks at her on the main roster? Oh, Vince, dude, I really hope that if she were to ever move over to Raw or SmackDown, God, but here's the thing, though. I need to see what happens with Rhea Ripley first, because depending on what happens with Rhea Ripley, I would have better hopes for Raquel. So we'll see what happens. And Armand says Regal announcement will be Adam Pearce will be assistant general manager on NXT. I don't think so. Do you think so? I don't know. I don't feel like going in that direction, but I could be wrong here. And Sean Harrington says that would not work with the story told during the match. Exactly. So I'm a little bit confused on what could actually be the big announcement. All right, guys, here we go. We have a super chat. Thank you so much to Brandon Charles Powell, who says, don't like to use the word hate, but I hated the finish to the women's tag title match with the passion of 1,001 suns, but I'll see where this goes. I didn't hate the finish, and the only reason for that is because I thought, okay, they're working their way towards a rematch, and that rematch is going to be at Fastlane. And I wouldn't mind seeing them crown new champions over, on Fastlane. It's always a much bigger deal when you see people become champions on a pay-per-view than, on your regular TV shows. So I didn't hate the finish. I'll tell you that much. I don't think I felt as strongly as you did. But thank you so much to Brandon for sending in this super chat. Really appreciate it. All right. Joseph says, hell no, I think the announcement is a triple threat for the women's tag titles at Mania. Shayna and Nia versus Dakota and Raquel versus Naomi and Lana. I don't think that's going to change the landscape of NXT, though. He said that it was going to change the landscape of NXT. Jake Larson says, can they make second women's tag bouts for just NXT? This is actually where I think that they might be going. I think that it may be the tag bouts for the NXT brand. That to me feels more plausible. I could see that being something that in storyline would change the landscape of NXT. So I do see that as something more of a possibility there. All right, guys. Oh, but we have people here that did not like the finish. We just obviously had that super chat from Brandon, but to follow up on that, Joseph also didn't like the finish. He says, the finish made Dakota and Raquel look stupid. How convenient that a main roster Raw ref is the reason that Shayna and Nia are still the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. That was done purposely, I think, so that you could be like, what the hell? They got screwed. So because they got screwed, they deserve a rematch. So that's really how I feel. Shout out to Matthew Williams, who says he's a first-time viewer. He says, did you enjoy the shows tonight? So thank you so much for being a first-time viewer. I welcome you here. And I got to say, I did enjoy both shows. I did enjoy AEW Dynamite more this week, though, because I thought that they obviously it's their go-home show to Revolution. So you know that the show is going to be a big deal. You know they're going to do a lot to really hype up the pay-per-view. And because they have so many matches announced, they were obviously doing so much in preparation for that. So I do think that AEW Dynamite was the better show this weekend. But again, that always changes every week. Sometimes I'm come on here and I say, I like both or I liked one more than the other. So there you go. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on. So after this, we had LA Knights cut a promo, and really all I want to say about this, and I don't know if I've said this already on here, but I do want to say that I really do think that LA Knight would work so much better on Raw. And I'm saying Raw because let's be real, we need more people on Raw to do different things to spice up the show. So I just think that his character, because he's so good on the mic, I really do think that he would get over on Raw in a fun way. And I just think he can offer so much more and do so much more on Raw than on NXT. So that's my personal opinion on LA Knight. I want to see him move up to Raw immediately. So there was supposed to be a tag match with Everrise and Breezango, but Legado del Fantasma attacked Breezango prior to the match. I like this because last week I loved the Cross Santos Escobar match, because one of the reasons why I liked it was they made Legado del Fantasma look really, really credible. They kept them really strong. And so I like the fact that they continued that this week by basically just, they're pissed. They're coming out, they're doing these attacks. It's making them look like legit, badasses. So I do like that they continued this here. I like this, guys. That's all I really had to say there. So next week, they are hyping up several matches for NXT, which include Kaden Carter versus Xia Li. That's happening next week. Io Shirai versus Toni Storm is happening next week. And Adam Cole versus Finn Balor is happening next week. So they really do have quite a few. I'm really looking forward to Io Shirai versus Toni Storm and Adam Cole versus Finn for next week. So I'm pretty excited. Plus the Regal announcement. So it looks like they're really booking a fun show for next week. And let's see, guys. After this, we had the main event, which was Finn Balor versus Roderick Strong. And I've already said at the top of the stream that Finn Balor is doing the best work that he's been doing in WWE thus far. This was a really good main event for NXT. I don't think that it was exactly what you expected. A good match. And here's the thing, that it doesn't matter that Roderick Strong lost this match, because Roderick Strong literally lost to a dominant champion that is Finn Balor. And I love the fact that he is getting these dominant wins, on NXT. So this was really good. And that's pretty much what I have to say, guys. Like, I love what they're doing with Finn Balor on NXT. It's one of my favorite things thus far. So there you guys go. That is pretty much our show. But before I go, I just want to remind you guys once again that this Thursday this Friday, I will be on Wrestling Observer Live doing AEW Revolution predictions with Brian and Mike Sempervive. And then on Sunday, immediately following AEW Revolution, I will be live on Twitch. Twitch.tv/F4W video. Once again, I will not be live on YouTube. I will be live on Twitch recapping AEW Revolution. I'm actually going to be the lead-in, because right after me, so I'm going to go live, and then right after me, we're going to have Brian and Vinny go live, sharing their thoughts too. So it's going to be back-to-back nonstop action over for the Twitch homies over at twitch.tv/F4W video. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Before I go, do not forget to check out my interview on youtube.com/Denise Salcedo. I interviewed Jey Uso today. He talks about his upcoming match with Daniel Bryan on SmackDown this Friday night. He talks about feuding with Roman Reigns. He talks about so much, guys. We play the lightning round game. Check that out. The link is in the description box below. And please do not forget to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, follow me on Twitter, on Instagram @ Denise Salcedo, and I will see you guys next week for Speak Now Pro Wrestling. Have a great night, everybody. Bye.